On Philanthropist Personality of the Week on Carda TV, we have a great personality who is known as a bridge builder and a peacemaker of his community, a man who has touched so many lives in his capacity. In our exclusive interview session with this erudite man, he tells us more about his lifestyle.
So my name is Akutah Pius Ukeyima. I am a lawyer with the Federal Ministry of Justice. I work in the Department of International Cooperation in the Central Authority unit of that office, in the Attorney General's office, and I deal with international cooperation and criminal matters issues. By way of background, I'm a prosecutor with the Federal Government of Nigeria and an expert in international criminal law. Yeah, I think I would say that it's something that is inborn and is inherent, and again something that I kind of copied from my parents. Yeah, because my father, my grandfather was a king, my father was also a king, and we have learned to live with people all our lives, and helping others was just a normal thing in the family. And because I have political instinct, I'm politically motivated, and I see that in politics a lot of things are no longer going the way they should be. We have a lot of people playing politics in this country today, but only very few are actually politicians, because as a politician one must be able to have some characteristics that distinguish you from other people. One major characteristic of a politician is selflessness, and a lot of people in politics today are very selfish, and that is why we see things going the way they are going. So I'm highly motivated to be able to touch lives, and doing that through political activities. Philanthropy is just one of the things that you must have to be. As a politician, you must certainly have to take care of needs of other people. And when you have political authority, it is not meant for you, but it's meant for the collective good of the people who put you there. So it is just a natural thing. Well, some of those things are not really things that I've set out to do originally. For instance, if we talk about the project between my community and the neighboring community in Vanekia local government, my community in Magwaza in Ushongo local government and Tsambe in Vanekia local government, these were not projects that I set out to do, but there was a need. So I just saw myself as a tool in my hand to use to accomplish that. For instance, the people were fighting, and what were they fighting for? Water. And this is not potable water, stream water. Stream water. And this was a fight that had already destroyed houses, properties, and farmlands. And I happened to come from one of those two communities. Will I sit down and watch these communities destroy themselves because of water? So I decided to engage the young people from both communities and began to talk to them and encourage them to see the need not to take up arms against each other in an ordinary situation like water, dispute over water. It is laughable. In this 21st century, people will look at us as people who are completely backward. So we spoke, and then I tried to engage them with my team here in Abuja. We're having conference calls between the youth of my community and the other community, and those of us sitting down in Abuja here and talking over the ways to address the dispute. And then eventually the issue of water being the cause of the fight came up, and I took it upon myself to say, okay, if it is just about drinking water, I have people I can reach out to and be able to raise some money to build 2 boreholes for you. I may not have the money, but I can have friends who be able to do that for us. And we're able to raise money and sink 2 boreholes, one for each of the communities, and then we commission it so they will not go into that kind of crisis again. And we commissioned a peace flag, which said that we have fought a war, a very useless war, but then never again should we have that kind of war in our 2 communities. So that was a spontaneous response to a need that came up. It wasn't a project that one set out to do. So, but then again, there are some other projects, like if you talk about the bridge in one other community in the Shongolo government, when I was contesting for election in 2018, that bridge came up, and I noticed that a lot of people were cut off from the other side of the council ward. Just one single council ward, but people cut off from the other side. They will have to go out to another local government to be able to access the main town. And then you have churches on the other side. They were not able to conduct their activities. You have markets. People are not able to access those markets, and it was very unbearable for them. And it happens every rainy season. And that again, I have a group of friends who can help us to put that across to the people, so we can ameliorate the sufferings of the people. And then we did that. And I believe that the people are happy now, because activities have opened, economic activities have opened between those areas. And to think of it, that's a road that is a major road that cut across the entire spread of the local government into another local government, into Taraba State, into the Cameroons. So it's a major road. So to say that just one portion of it had a bridge breakdown and has been there for years, people suffering every rainy season, they will have to leave, to travel all the way through another local government to be able to access their villages, was just too unbearable. The problem with us really is that not that our justice system is working. It's working very well. But the expectations that people have sometimes, especially in our climb here, is to see people receive punitive punishment, to see people go to jail. And then when there is a matter in court, it is strongly advisable for people not to make comments over these issues, because it can go either way depending on the evidence that is brought before the court. So that is why the court is an adjudicator. The fact that someone alleges that this happened or this happened does not mean that automatically the court will convict. It is based on the evidence that is brought before the court. But for us, we believe so much in media judgment. So people can just come up in the media, say all sort of things, and then we go with the media hype, and then we convict people in the media. And by the time the court judgment comes up and it goes the other way, we begin to vilify the courts. We begin to say all sort of things about the justice system. But anywhere in the world, the justice system does not grind so fast the way people think. It goes slowly, but surely it gets to destination. And that is what happens here too. We have a solid justice system working for this country, especially today. One thing I want us to know, or what I want to talk about now, particularly about peace and unity of this country, is that there are so many agitations here and there. But people should not be quick to take up arms and begin to fight. Even wars, full-blown wars, when they are fought, they return back to the negotiating tables to end hostilities and to move on. Our society is full of so many challenges. To compound those challenges by just unnecessary animosities and crises is not helping us. Today, global economies are having a lot of challenges. Nigeria is not exempted from the global meltdown, and there are projections that we're going to enter into another round of recession because of the pandemic. So we need to begin to think outside the box. We need to begin to look at ways that we can progressively move things forward to preserve our economy for the future generations to come. So agitations, yes, you can agitate, but when you agitate, place that on the altar of the collective will of the people, not for personal gain and personal matters. But most of what we see today, people come up to agitate and place it as if it affects the general public, the general population. But when you look deep down, you will see that there are political motivations, there are personal motivations that are there for personal gains, and that is hampering our growth as a country. We have generations that are upcoming. We are not thinking about them. We're not thinking about what will happen. We have youth today that have graduated from school. Some of them have not just basic qualifications, but go all the way to have master's degree. We are finding it very difficult to take care of their needs in our society. But these agitations are growing, and they are not creating any good opportunities for our youth to be adequately, accommodated in the project. So I think people should not at all times begin to vilify government and look at the failure of government and create sentiments and all of that issues that we fight the government and all of that. If you believe in your government, do your bit and ensure that your bit is for the collective good. It's not for your personal interest. Today, again, we look at youth. Some of them, the use of the internet and the social media. That's another aspect that has corruptly affected our society today. People go on the social media and spew out hatred and spew out lies, deception. And sometimes when people read those things, they follow them. This is not helping us. I keep on telling the youth when I have any opportunity of addressing them to say, look, you have your profile is on your social media platforms. Your signature is there. And the moment you type anything and post on that platform, you have lost control over it. You can never delete it. If you like, delete it from your phone and destroy your phone. That is still on the social media platform. You can't take it away. And it becomes what the outside world will use to profile you. I keep telling some of you that you might do all sort of things today. Tomorrow, just a visa application that you file in one of the embassies, the entire history of your life can be pulled out to profile you and to know whether you are the type of person that is required to enter the country or not. And that's where your challenge will begin. So we need our youth to begin to think that the social media platforms today create a big opportunity for them to even get jobs, to even engage in productive things that we put them in the committee of people around the world. The internet world is a space that a lot of people have taken advantage of. But our youngsters use it today to create hatred, enmity, and abuse elders and talk all sort of things, abuse government and all that, without being, creative, without using it to better their lives. So I want to advise our youth that use your internet well. Use your social media platforms to create opportunities for yourself. There are a lot of opportunities there that will help you. And anywhere in the world, it's not only government that employs. It's not only government that provides everything. Government provides the basic infrastructures that people need to run their activities. We should be able to support our government to be able to provide those